This is 680 The Fan's continuing coverage of Atlanta Braves spring training. I'm Kevin McAlpin coming to you on the road once again. We are here in Jupiter, Florida, Roger Dean Stadium to be exact. This is the spring training home of both the St. Louis Cardinals and the Miami Marlins. They split this ballpark here about 2.5 hours south and east of the Braves complex in Orlando. As you can see behind me, the Cardinals are on the field gearing up for today's game. Ben Ingram and myself will have the call of that one, and that comes your way right around 1 o'clock. So make sure you're following us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at 680 The Fan. We'll tweet out there where you can find us. Also, the Braves Clubhouse Report comes your way today at 2:30 on 680 The Fan. Brian Snitker and Nick Markakis will join us, and Snit talking about what he has seen through the first third of camp already. Hard to believe we're a third of the way through this thing already. Opening day a little over a month from today up in Philadelphia. And again, the Braves have 20-some-odd more games here in the Grapefruit League before they will head north. Again, it's the Braves and the Cardinals from Jupiter today. As far as the regulars who made the trip down from Orlando, we will see Ronald Acuna Jr., Johan Camargo, Charlie Culberson also making the bus ride down about 2.5 hours, as I mentioned, south and east down the Florida Turnpike. And that's what you can look for from an offensive standpoint for the Braves. Also, what to look for on the mound, Kyle Wright will be making his 2019 spring debut. Looking forward to seeing Kyle Wright get out there. Of course, we saw him in limited exposure last season for the Braves at the big league level. So Kyle Wright on the mound for the Braves here today. And again, that's a 1 o'clock first pitch between the Braves and the St. Louis Cardinals. Let's look back to yesterday for just a moment, because it was a big day offensively for a couple of the Braves catchers of tomorrow. We have talked a lot about the depth at catcher, of course, Flowers and McCann here at the big league level, but the Braves looking for some insurance and some guys they can count on in the minors. They got a solo homer yesterday from Alex Jackson. It was a line drive shot up onto the berm in left field at ESPN's Wide World of Sports. And then a few innings later, William Contreras, not to be confused with Wilson Contreras, his older brother, the all-star catcher for the Chicago Cubs, William Contreras, a two-run shot into the Braves bullpen in right field. So a couple of the Braves catchers of the future showing that power that we have heard a lot about over the last couple of years. That was on display in a Braves win over the Mets yesterday back at Disney World. Braves have won 2 in a row after an 0-2 start. And really, the theme so far for the Braves in Grapefruit League play has been the starting pitching. 2 no-hit innings from Sean Newcomb yesterday, kind of following suit with what we saw all over the weekend. We already saw good stuff from Touki Toussaint against the Mets in the Grapefruit League opener Saturday. Mike Foltynewicz certainly looked strong against the Astros on Sunday. And good stuff from Max Fried as well in his spring debut. All of these guys have really looked sharp. And again, I know what you're going to say. The pitchers are still ahead of the offensive players at this point in camp, and you wouldn't be wrong by saying that. But nevertheless, good stuff from some of the Braves' younger arms, and we'll get to see another one on display here today as Kyle Wright toes the rubber for the Braves. Kyle Wright, the draft pick from a couple of years ago out of Vanderbilt, and I remember a lot of Braves folks telling me when he was drafted, this guy has a chance to be a real fast mover. Well, guess what? We saw him in the big leagues a year ago, and he is here competing for a spot either in the Braves starting rotation, which is still up for grabs, or in the bullpen as well. So we'll get our first look here in the new year at Kyle Wright on the mound against the Cardinals here today. Again, Ben and myself will have the call of that one back in Atlanta, and of course you can find us on the MLB at Bat app as well. And again, a lot of younger players making the trip down here to Jupiter today. We will see Grayson Janista, a guy that has opened a lot of eyes here in camp, a ton of power to all fields, not strictly pull, so you can see why the Braves really liked him coming out of Wichita State a couple of years ago. It's been a lot of fun to watch him, and we'll see him in the Braves lineup here again today. Again, it's a 1 o'clock first pitch. Braves and the Cardinals here from Roger Dean Stadium in Jupiter, Florida. Again, about 2.5 hours south and east of Orlando. And again, friendly reminder, Brian Snitker and Nick Markakis joining us on the Braves Clubhouse Report. That comes your way 2:30 to 3 on 680 The Fan back in Atlanta. So tons of Braves coverage coming your way, both on air and, of course, here on 680thefan.com as well. We'll have a full recap for you on our Braves Daily podcast as well post-game, and we'll also have our daily blog as well. So again, make sure you're checking 680 The Fan daily for all the latest coverage, news, and notes coming out of Braves camp here, whether it's home or on the road here like we are today in Jupiter, Florida. So again, Braves and Cardinals, 1 o'clock. Jupiter, Florida is the spot to be, Roger Dean Stadium to be specific. Hopefully you can join us, and again, stay with us for our coverage all spring training long right here on 680thefan.com.